This year, 4 weeks left of the regular season in fantasy football for most leagues, unless you play in week 17. But anyway, here's the top 15 kickers I'm ranking rest of the year. Number 1, Justin Tucker of the Baltimore Ravens. Tucker, you know he don't miss field goals. You know he gets a lot of opportunities. I know this year he's not up there in points really in fantasy, but still, Justin Tucker, he's a guy you got to have in your roster, and he's the number 1 option each and every week. And this guy, he's got Dallas in week 13, week 14 at Cleveland, week 15 Jacksonville, week 16 the Giants. So I like Tucker's output. He's going to get opportunities, like I said, and he don't miss. So I think he's going to be fine the rest of the way, and possibly number 1, especially with that schedule. Number 2, Young Hoku of the Atlanta Falcons. This guy, he's been putting up massive points of late, and he's coming off a 20-point game in week 12 for the Falcons, is Young Hoku. And this guy, he hits a lot of big field goals. It seems like he hits at least 1 or 2 50-plus yarders each and every game. He plays indoors. The rest of his games are indoors except the week 16 at Kansas City. So he's got New Orleans at home. Then he goes to the Chargers in week 14, week 15 Tampa, and week 16 at Kansas City. So I like the schedule. I like the things Koo is doing. And he's up there at top of the list with the most fantasy points as kicker. So he's number 2. Number 3, Will Lutz of the New Orleans Saints. Lutz, he's a solid kicker. Another guy like Tucker. He don't miss much. Hits his field goals. He gets the job done. And he plays indoors as well, even though he's got only 2 more games indoors here. The rest of 3 out of 4, actually, the rest of the way, which is good also. Week 13, he's at Atlanta. You know, it's going to be a high-scoring game and opportunities there for him. Week 14 at Philly, week 15 Kansas City, and week 16 Minnesota. So a good 4 matchups for Lutz. He's a guy you just put him out there and play him each and every week, and he's a top 3-4 option each and every week in the rankings. So I like Lutz at 3. Number 4, Tyler Bass. This guy, he's very underowned, very underappreciated, and very underrated. Tyler Bass, he's been putting up huge points the last month now in fantasy football, and he's top 3 in fantasy points for kickers right now. And this guy, he's in a good offense. He's getting tons of opportunities. And another guy like who, it seems like he's hitting a 50-plus yarder each and every ball game. And now in week 13, he's at San Francisco, week 14 Pittsburgh, week 15 at Denver, and week 16 at New England. So Bass, he's got a pretty good schedule. His team's going to score a lot of points, and he's going to get a lot of opportunities. And I like him in number 4. Number 5, Harrison Butker of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's in one of the top offense of all of football here is Butker, and he's getting opportunities, but a lot of PATs to be honest. But this guy, he's got a good boot, and he can kick it from long. His problem's missing extra points this year for whatever reason with Butker, but then he could go out there and hit a 58-yarder. But anyway, in week 13, he's got Denver, 14 at Miami, week 15 at New Orleans, and week 16 Atlanta. So Butker, he's got good kicking matchups. I know his PATs have been a problem missing him, but I'm not worried about it. And I got him here in number 5. Number 6, Jason Sanders of the Miami Dolphins. This guy, he's missed 1 field goal, I believe, the whole year. And he's another guy, it seems like each and every week's putting up double-digit fantasy points. Is Sanders. And the Miami Dolphins, a lot of opportunities they give this guy because they don't push the ball into the end zone that much as Miami. So Sanders, top of the leaderboard, or right there with fantasy points. Depends how your league scores for kickers. And now week 13 Cincinnati, week 14 Kansas City, week 15 New England, and week 16 at Vegas. So he's got a good matchups, good schedule. He's got 3 home games in sunny Miami, so that's also a good sign as well. So I like Sanders to keep putting up double-digit points and staying up top of the leaderboard at kickers. So he's number 6. Number 7, Rodrigo Blankenship of the Indianapolis Colts. This rookie kicker, he was off to an amazing start to start the season, but then he slowed down a little. But the last few weeks, he's gotten it back with a few double-digit fantasy games. And now in week 13, he's at Houston, week 14 at Vegas, week 15 Houston again, and week 16 at Pittsburgh. So 3 of these last 4 games for him are indoor ball games. And what's better than that for a kicker to have an indoor game no weather or wind to worry about, obviously, and it's just kick and put it through the uprights. So I got Blankenship at 8. At 7, number 8, Matt Prater of the Detroit Lions. Prater here, he's been up and down this season, but another guy who plays indoors is Prater. And he's going to only have 2 indoor games, but still, this guy's a guy, he could kick it from 50 plus yards. Detroit, they don't punch a lot of red zone opportunities either into the end zone. And Prater, like I said, he could kick from anywhere and he could get the job done. And he's got a decent schedule. Week 13 at Chicago, Week 14 Green Bay, Week 15 at Tennessee, and Week 16 Tampa Bay. So Prater, I think he'll be fine the rest of the way and a top 10 option for all kickers here. Number 9, Ryan Suckup of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Suckup, he's been pretty solid. He don't miss many field goal attempts, but I feel like he don't attempt many long ones. That Tampa Bay team, they get right down there towards the goal line and stuff and just can't convert sometimes, where he's only kicking a 25 to 30 yarder as Suckup. So his points the last few weeks have gone down because of that, where he hasn't reached double digits. But anyway, he's off in Week 13 with the bye. Week 14 Minnesota, Week 15 in Atlanta, and Week 16 at Detroit. So a good thing about Suckup, he's got 2 dome games coming up at the back end of this schedule, and that's always a good sign for kickers. So I like Suckup at 9. Number 10, Daniel Carlson of the Vegas Raiders. He's top 5 in fantasy points for kickers. This guy, he came out of nowhere this season, and he's putting it through the uprights. He plays indoors, and 3 out of his last 4 bowl games are indoors here. At Week 13, he's at the Jets. He should get a lot of opportunities versus a piss-poor Jet defense. Week 14, Indianapolis, he's home. Week 15, Chargers. And Week 16, Miami. So 14 to 16, which is rare, 3 in a row home games for Carlson and the Raiders. So he's going to get opportunities. He's playing indoors, and he's got good matchups. So I like him here in number 10. Number 11, Graham Gano. This guy's available in 97% of fantasy leagues, and he's got 3 double-digit fantasy games in a row now with 10-plus fantasy points. And now with Daniel Jones down, the Giants, they might even get more field goal opportunities if they can't convert in the red zone with Colt McCoy at quarterback. So Graham Gano at Seattle in Week 13, Arizona Week 14, Cleveland Week 15, and at Baltimore Week 16. So versus these teams, the Giants, they're still capable of getting in the red zone. Besides versus Baltimore, that's going to be a tough defense to do anything against. But I like the schedule. I like the way he's kicking, and the Giants believed in him at 2, giving him a contract extension. So Gano's 11. Number 12, Greg the Leg Zuerlein of the Dallas Cowboys. We know they call him Greg the Leg for a reason. This guy could kick the ball from anywhere on the field. He could hit it through the uprights, is Zuerlein. And he's been hitting double-digit fantasy points 2 out of his last 3 games. And in Week 13, he's at Baltimore. Week 14 at Cincy. Week 15, San Francisco. Week 16, Philly. So, pretty good schedule. He's going to get opportunities. This Cowboy team is another team that they don't get finish off most red zone drives with touchdowns now since Andy Dalton has been in there in the starting lineup. So, Greg, he could get 2 or 3 good opportunities a ball game to hit long field goals. And at number 12, I think it's a safe place to put him on the kicker board. Number 13, Jason Myers of the Seattle Seahawks. Myers, he only has 12 or 13 field goal attempts on the year. And most of them are short attempts as well, because this Seattle team, they got Chris Carson back now, another weapon on the offense, and they're punching the ball in to the end zone pretty much every time. Is Seattle. But Myers, he still could give you decent numbers, and he's still going to get opportunities. So even if he hit 5 PATs, say, and a 40-yarder, that's a 9-point fantasy day. So he's in a great offense, he's on a great team, and he's a good kicker. He just hasn't missed, and he's got a good schedule. Week 13, the Giants. Week 14, the Jets. Week 15 at Washington. And Week 16, the Rams. 3 out of those 4 ball games are home for Myers. Those teams give up a lot of points to offenses, and he's going to get chances. Number 14, Zane Gonzalez of the Arizona Cardinals. He's been up and down this season, but he's a guy I still like here at the 14th spot. Plus, he plays indoors 3 out of the last 4 of his ball games. He's got the Rams in Week 13. Then they go to the Giants in Week 14. Then he's home versus Philly in week 15, and then San Francisco week 16. So Gonzalez, he's in a pretty good offense. He gets a lot of opportunities and chances to kick that ball through the uprights, especially with a high-powered offense, like I said, in Arizona. So I like it over here for Zane Gonzalez at 14, and the 15th and final guys, Brandon McManus of the Denver Broncos. McManus, this guy's got a big kick, a big boot. Just where he plays this time of year could be a problem if there's snow or wet conditions or whatever. But luckily for him, 3 out of the 4 ball games are on the road, and one of them he gets indoors is McManus. So he's got Kansas City week 13, at Carolina week 14, week 15 Buffalo, and week 16 at the Chargers. So Brandon McManus, this Bronco team is a team that has trouble in the red zone as well, putting the ball in the end zone. So McManus, he could have a few games where he's going to attempt a 40 or 50 yarder each and every time. And I could see him doing a decent job and getting some decent points, but I just don't like the offense he's in, where there might not be that many chances either, like we saw the other. So that's rest of the season kicker rankings, the top 15 for fantasy football.